Prismatic evolutions will force people to leave the hobby. Well, hello there. It's Deej here on my journey to catch them all. If you clicked on this video, then you probably bought Prismatic Evolutions or are planning on buying it. But I'm here to make you think about why you're buying it. Why'd you buy it? Are you wanting to open it? Are you wanting to collect it? Are you wanting to hold it long term? In my opinion, there is absolutely no reason, not for any of those reasons, to buy Prismatic Evolutions for over MSRP. If you're collecting, you can wait for a Target restock. They're going to be printing this thing for the next 4 years. I just went to Best Buy the other day and saw these there. I bought this around launch. I was so stoked. I was a demon getting that deal for $18 a piece for a case of 6. Because, at launch, these were going for like $30 a piece. And I know this set is way different than Prismatic Evolutions because Prismatic has way better cards. Shining Fates had the Charizard, but the rest of it was really pretty crappy. People weren't really endeared to the Galar Pokemon yet. So I think that Prismatic could perform better than this. I might not be able to buy this off TCG Player for whatever it's at, like $23. And if it's at Best Buy, it might not just be sitting there on the shelf. It'll be gone in a second. But point is, this is still on the shelves out there. You'll be able to have a chance if you're a collector. Okay. Next one. Investor. If you are an investor, you're wanting to hold it long term, right? Maybe you found a store that you bought a couple cases for MSRP. If you have a distributor, you don't count. You have the cheat code anyways. You get it for cheap. We're not talking to you. Anyways, so if you're an investor, you can buy this today for MSRP. Get a whole case. You're going to hold on to that for the next 10 years, right? Okay, so let's do a case of ETBs. Say you got one for even $400. You got a case of ETBs for $400. If you're long term, you're expecting it to go up to more than $100 in the long term, which surely it will. Everything does. It's all Pokemon. It'll get up that much eventually. Fair enough. But if you can buy this on the shelf today, 4 years later, you'll be able to find Prismatic Evolutions for close to MSRP 4 years later as well. And as a long-term investor, that $400 could have been spent a million other ways within that time period. If you're a long-term investor, you're trying to buy stuff when it's close to being out of print or its lowest price. So if it's at its lowest price, obviously that's a good time to buy. And I'm sorry about my camera being blurry. Man, that camera blur really threw me off. So I've just summarized the long-term investor why it's bad. Wait, you can still buy this at Best Buy today. Spend your money in other ways, make more money, buy it later on. Okay. The third section of people that might, I'm going to say section this time if you watch my crypto video. You know. Time to talk about the rabbit in the room. The flippers. The people trying to make profit for profit. Okay. This is the only reason I would see anybody to even think about buying over MSRP Prismatic Evolutions. I still think it is an absolutely terrible idea because, sure, things could go up, but they just as likely could go down or stay stagnant. So I know this is a Pokemon channel, but I made a video, my last video, relating Pokemon and crypto because they're almost exactly the same in a lot of the vocabulary and just the markets, the emotions of the market. So I pulled up a Bitcoin chart here just to illustrate the emotions of a market because I think that it's a good way to learn about what might happen in Pokemon. Okay, so, and because they're so correlated, this chart actually does kind of represent the hype in Pokemon. You could almost look at this as a hype chart. So back, a couple months ago from, in 22 to 23, that was kind of the bear market where things were kind of ranging. You can make money in here, you buy low, sell here. You can make money 15 times just on trading Bitcoin if you can know when to sell, to buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. I'm not going to go all the way down, but then there's these hype cycles that happen. Things go crazy, things go up. There's elections that happen and things burst up. Things don't just keep bursting up into infinity, though. So even though Prismatic just bursted up, there's no guarantee it's going to burst up again. Even though the election just happened, things are looking good on the financial side, people are already investing their money. A lot of people already priced it in, and there are other people who have been investing it, and that's kind of the cycle that like they're becoming part of the market. And I realized watching some of my videos that my camera reverses. So I'm doing a chart up the direction that the chart looks for you on the screen. But this is actually the direction. Anyways, so after a run up like this, things don't just keep going up. They range. They call this a range. So if I wanted, I could draw a trend line here. Couple trend lines, and now I have a channel of prices where things kind of bounce up and down in between a channel. But this is also like an emotional chart, like where people are just kind of, should I sell? Should I buy more? Should I? They're just kind of in this stage of like figuring out what they should do. It's this unknown stage. And then things could break down, they could break up. That's where the danger is. So right now we're buying stuff at a pumped price. Prismatic Evolutions, $100. Could go up to 150, could easily go back down to MSRP at 50. So, from what I was saying before, it just doesn't make sense to buy Prismatic Evolutions above MSRP. Good for the people that can sell it for more. I think that is incredible. Do it. Take advantage of the market. If people are willing to pay that, then they're doing it. Don't tell people how to spend their money. It's like a long time ago, I told my sister she didn't need me to buy me a gift for my birthday or the holidays, and she was like, "Don't tell me if I can buy you a gift or not." And it's the same thought process. Don't tell me if I can't if I can't sell or buy a Prismatic Evolutions ETB for $100. Okay, so back to the people trying to make profit. Even if you were able to find this for MSRP, if you found it for below, good for you. I do what you want. Your options are open. But if you're buying this for MSRP and you're thinking, if you're a new person back in the hobby, actually, because I've been getting lots of comments from new people, I've been seeing it in other people's comments, I've been getting it from buyers. There are a lot of people who are newly back in the hobby, and that is awesome. It is so fun. I totally sympathize with all of you. I am actually still here with you. I was somebody who did it in 2020, and I'm still here. I never left. But the cautionary tale here is that some people will leave. And if you are new, you just need to be aware of these emotions that you will experience shortly. Okay, so Pokemon's expensive. $20 MSRP. $30 launch. If this was Prismatic, you buy this. You might have a family. You might have a wife. You might not. You might just have finances. Launch day comes. You get your product. You have your Prismatic Evolutions. Things are good. Things are still selling for $100. Maybe they went up to 120. You're thinking, oh, great, I'm going to sell these for 120. And then you're like, oh, but I've been giving all these stores crap for selling stuff for above MSRP. They're scalpers, right? Like, so I'm a scalper now. I don't really want to be a scalper, but I just made this Pokemon store in my name, and the first stuff I'm going to sell is stuff that I just got from Target and Walmart. I'm going to be one of those people. Like, ooh, I think I'm just going to become a long-term investor. And as I talked about before, becoming a long-term investor doesn't make sense because you'll be able to buy this stuff later on for MSRP. So then you're just going to have stagnant money. I'm sorry if I just bursted some of your bubbles. Not all of your bubbles, because some of you have been through this before, but not everybody has. So that's why I'm here to give you the cautionary tale. Prismatic Evolutions will force people to leave the hobby. There will be wives that'll be like, I thought you were going to make some money from this. But why is it sitting in the closet? Some people will sell it for a loss. With fees and shipping, they're going to lose money if they sell it for MSRP again. Maybe they just get their quick 2x and then they wait for more stocks. And see, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But then you are a scalper and a flipper. And is that something that you're okay with? In my opinion, you should be okay with it as long as you're not buying out entire stores. If you're buying stuff online where you're fighting bots and other people, buy what you can. Who cares? In store, I think there are some like just social things that you should respect. But in terms of online purchases, do what you can and make money. So the last thing I wanted to go over, and unfortunately I couldn't find a graph that goes all the way back. Again, if any of you find something like that, please tell me. I would love to look at literally all the data. It's just so hard to find. So Shining Fates came out in February of 2021. This graph starts at June of 2021, I guess. So it was already back down to MSRP 5 months later. So what does that tell you? It tells you that there was a continuous supply coming in. There were people that paid over MSRP. And then what do you do when the stock or a crypto goes down that you believe in? You buy more. You double down on it so that when it goes up, you gain even more money. And so that's what people do. They go and they keep buying, like, oh, there's more and more stock. It just keeps going down and down. Oh no. And then they just hold on to it forever and ever or choose to take a loss. And this chart shows that. And it only took 5 months for Shining Fates to get back down. And I really do think Prismatic will perform better because of the cards. But it shows you how Pokemon reacts in these situations. It's going to print the crap out of Prismatic Evolutions. It's going to take its printers away from temporal forces and whatever it's doing now and putting it towards Prismatic Evolutions because there's enough temporal forces to go around right now, but there's not enough Prismatic Evolutions. Pokemon's a smart company. They know what they're doing. They're going to sell what sells. Well, I hope you learned something again today, and I really appreciate all of you for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you can learn something from my experience and knowledge in the hobby. I do plan on going into how I actually sell stuff on eBay, TCG Player, Mercari in depth to kind of give you guys an idea of how maybe you should sell stuff once you do get to that point of like trying to start up a store, because I think that's a place I do have a lot of expertise. And once again, thanks for joining me on my journey to catch 'em all. Good luck.